And it's 8 p.m. and welcome to the Citi Newsroom. My name is Vivian Lokko. Tonight I'm here with
Umaru Sanda.
Coming up, government reaches compromise with FIFA and agrees to discontinue petition to dissolve GFA.
Also coming up, ECOWAS steps in to help resolve ongoing impasse between Ghanaian and Nigerian traders at the Swami magazine in Kumasi.
Also coming up, striking health professionals at the Tamale Teaching Hospital suspend indefinite sit-down strike in protest against the attack of the CEO of the facility. Meanwhile, one person has been arrested by the police over the incident.
And later on the bulletin, government introduces new roadmap to fight gallantry.
Let's go to the details. Now, striking health professionals of the Tamale Teaching Hospital in the northern region have suspended their indefinite sit-down strike following the intervention of some prominent leaders in the northern region.
The hospital staff laid down their tools in solidarity with their chief executive officer, Dr. David Kolbila, who was chased out of his office by some pro-NPP youth groups on Monday. Citi News' Abdul Karim Natogma has more.
A 3-hour meeting with the management and leadership of the various health associations at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. The eminent leaders in the northern region, including chiefs, succeeded in convincing the striking health professionals to back down their decision for now to save lives. And as custodians of the land, they assured the hospital management of their steadfastness to ensure that nothing untoward in that sense will happen in future to disrupt their operations. And the striking health professionals promised to resume work immediately. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of the group calling itself the Concerned MPP Youth Coalition, Baba Al-Hassan, who is in police custody, has written an unqualified apology to the management of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. In the letter, he remorsefully apologized for the conduct of the group and pledged the group's commitment to ensure that never in their lifetime members of the group will repeat such an unlawful act.
Now, World Football Governing Body FIFA, together with the government of Ghana and the Confederation of African Football (CAF), will set up a normalization committee to run Ghana football to replace the current executive committee of the Ghana FA. The decision also means that government will have to discontinue its dissolution case against the Ghana Football Association. Now, this was agreed on in a meeting between government officials and that of FIFA in Zurich this afternoon. The meeting was called for by the government after it received a threat from FIFA over a ban from international football on Monday. So we'll go further into this latest development, and the head of sports at Citi TV and Citi FM, Nathan Kwao, has joined me in the studio for more details. Nathan, welcome to Citi Newsroom.
Thank you very much.
Now, yesterday you were here and we talked about the likely outcome of that meeting this today. Are you surprised by the latest we are seeing?
Not at all. You remember I outlined a number of options, and this was the very last one, and I also added that this was the likeliest, and we have this, the normalization committee. I think that is a move that satisfies all parties. If you go through the release that FIFA put out earlier, it highlighted a number of things, and the normalization committee was the middle ground that both parties would accept. And so I'm not too surprised we are here, that FIFA has taken this decision to set up a normalization committee to replace the EXCO. And it's a key move because remember that government went to court to seek a dissolution of the GFA, essentially to get a few people who were members of the FA, including Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, to face the law. Now, what this move has done is that it's taking government from that track to this new one, which essentially leads them down the same road of getting the specific people cited in the Anas video, and then they will have to face the laws that Ghana has in terms of criminal behavior and all other related matters.
Okay, we'll come back to that. But for people who don't know really what happened today, give us a summary of what we got today.
Well, essentially, the two parties met. Government of Ghana had the likes of Godfrey Dame, Kojo Nkrumah, and sports minister in that team. And then you had FIFA, who were represented by Fatma Samura, the secretary, and Gianni Infantino, the president. What came out was a number of things. The most important is the normalization committee, which will run Ghana football, and it will take the place of the EXCO. Another thing which came out, which is very significant, is the setting up of a task force by FIFA to audit and to check, that the people who are found guilty will face the law. And this is very significant because usually FIFA's task forces are there to check if host nations are getting ready to host a tournament, or they set up one to deal with an immediate problem like racism or something. But this is a very,
we are told this has never happened before.
Very unique that there is a committee or a task force that has been set up primarily to oversee the work of the normalization committee and to help a government find people who have broken the law, football people who have broken the law, and helping them face the criminal statutes of the country. So this is very unique, and the government of Ghana, I suspect, would have been very happy with this provision, knowing that it had to give up the possibility of going to court to dissolve the FA, something that FIFA, from their stance or from the release, clearly was never going to accept, that a government would dissolve an association that has, that is related to it. So I think that it was a give and take, and that measure, especially the task force, satisfies government, and FIFA would have to help government find these people and put them before law so that the government will be happy.
But some say that Ghana lost at the end of the day with this, the outcome of this meeting. Well, what do you say to that?
I can understand, because there won't be a dissolution, but at least the criminal aspect, or dealing with the criminal aspect, is still not lost. FIFA has never said that if people break the law, don't punish them. What it did not want was a dissolution through court, which it viewed as interference, thereby the threat of a ban. So if it's giving Ghana the opportunity to try these people in court, I think that the government will have to take it. It may not be what it wanted, but it could turn out to be a very, very good opportunity to get these people and put them before law. It's all up to the government. They'll have to start working very quickly. The case will have to get back on track. It has to be reactivated so that these people can face the law. On one hand, so that the football, which will be administered by the normalization committee, can be fast-tracked, and then we can have a resumption of normal football activity.
Okay, so earlier we spoke to Kojo Nkrumah, the information minister designate. He was part of the team that went for this meeting. We asked him a couple of questions, what this means to Ghana, etc. So let's have a look at what he said, then we'll come back to you, Nathan.
We consider what has happened as a win-win for the government of Ghana and for FIFA, because, as I mentioned, we have succeeded in meeting the common objective which we both had right from the beginning, without taking an approach that unnecessarily puts us at different sides of the table. We have a common position now, and we believe that this position will help us to sidestep the FA, reform Ghana football, and draw a roadmap forward. We have succeeded in coming to a middle ground position with FIFA, which allows us to do away with the executive committee of the FA as we had originally intended to do, without necessarily going through the process of liquidating the FA. In this instance, it is FIFA which, rather, were in consultation with the government of Ghana and CAF, set up a normalization committee which will now take the process forward. So essentially we have succeeded in doing away with the FA as we originally intended, without having to go through a liquidation process.
So essentially, he believes that they've had their way, or they've gotten. The main thing was to, get them not to ban us, and then get certain things done. So that's a win-win. But what does this mean for activities like some competitions that were coming up, and we were worried that it may affect those?
Well, essentially, now that the possibility of a ban is far gone, and then they'll have to take the matter out of court, it means that Ghana is free to partake in international competitions, meaning that the Black Stars can play their qualifier next month against Kenya. The under-17 women's team can go to Uruguay for their World Cup later this year. Most importantly, there's a women's African tournament we want to host in Ghana. Money has been pumped in, putting stadia together, ensuring that everything is fine. I don't think government wanted to risk wasting money on that and then not having to host, because it's an opportunity for Ghana to sell itself. So all these three things I've mentioned will clearly happen. The most important thing is the Women's African Nations Cup. Ghana is hosting that late November to December, and it's important that that would be seen over the line. That tournament would be hosted. So the footballing side of things seems to be fine. Now, the challenge for government is, what would they do with this opportunity? They have to take this chance and use this window, because most normalization committees, essentially all normalization committees that FIFA sets up, have a very limited time frame. It's because they don't want football to stall for too long. They have a very limited time frame to work and come out with their roadmap, which will include rules for the elections, timetable for elections, rules to govern the new FA or the new EXCO, which will be formed essentially through the election that may come up along the line. But most importantly, what government has been given, like I said, is an opportunity. They need to take that chance and ensure that they choose the people. The thing that governments will rely on is that when normalization committees are set up, the members on that committee go through an integrity check, a very stringent one that FIFA puts in place. So government can be rest assured that people will be filtered, and if they don't meet the standard, they will not be put on that committee. The other thing that government will be happy about is that the people who get to sit on that committee cannot stand for elections. So even if, like, imagine in the worst case scenario, even the old EXCO members even get to sit on it by virtue of experience, and they want to provide guidance, they are barred automatically from standing for any Ghana Football Association position. So those are the things government.
Who chooses those members?
Well, like we heard, it will be a three-way selection process: CAF, Government of Ghana, and FIFA. So all names will be thrown about, and then you have the right people after they go through the integrity checks. When they are passed and they are filtered and they don't have any issues, they sit on that committee and they'll design a plan going forward for a new executive committee to be formed, and essentially a new football association. Because if you have a new EXCO, you are essentially having new management to run the affairs of the Ghana Football Association.
Do we have any idea some of the names that will pop up?
It's tough to say. I have a suspicion that possibly Dr. Kofi Amwa could be put on that. I have a suspicion that he could be put on that. I cannot tell who and who, because remember, a 5-man committee was set up a few months ago. That didn't see the light of day. So maybe those members could come back. Maybe Abedi Pele could have a take. That is, if he passes the test. Maybe some other members. So it's a very complex procedure of choosing people, because not only Ghana that will choose, FIFA will bring its input, CAF will bring its input. So it will be quite a process. But like I said, there is a filtering process. There's a filtering check embedded in the normalization committee's work. And so we are assured, at least by virtue of the process, that good people will come out of that. And at least they are barred from contesting the elections. If government is worried, they can be rest assured that the caveat that comes with the normalization committee is that if you sit in there, you cannot contest any election. So you are sure that those people will work fairly, knowing that they won't go anywhere after this. They cannot even cross this barrier to go and contest anyway. So they have to do the work and do it well.
Any time frames to deal with all these matters and put this behind us and move on? In
the cases that have happened in Mali, for example, countries like Argentina, it's taking them between 2 to 3 months. It's not a day's work. It takes a little time, but we'll have a set time frame which will be determined in the coming days.
So today I had we went up the FIFA rankings. Did this have anything to do with
not at all. Now, the FIFA rankings are based on the things you do on the pitch. Now, Ghana has not played football in a while, but the last time we played, it was in 2 friendlies. We beat Iceland and Japan, and those things feed the rankings, not boardroom matters or suspend. No. Those things never, ever have a say on the rankings and where you place. France, for example, are now the #1 country after winning the World Cup, while Germany have dropped to 15th. They were #1. So things that happen on the pitch determine the rankings, not the boardroom matter.
And we are 32?
Yes, we are 32nd on the rankings.
Okay, Nathan Kwao, thank you so much for your time. We move on to some other stories, and ECOWAS has stepped in to help resolve the ongoing impasse between the Ghanaian and Nigerian traders at Swami Magazine in Kumasi. The two have been at loggerheads for weeks over the right to trade in the area. Deputy Trade and Industry Minister Carlos Ahinkra, speaking to Citi News, said the ECOWAS Commission has expressed interest in the impasse and has already sent envoys to help in the resolution.
When we belong to an ECOWAS fraternity, where in the charter there's stated clearly that there should not be any discrimination, it's important that we find a way to mix this together and find some peaceful coexistence. The Minister of Trade himself and of course the President have met our good traders about twice already, trying to resolve this matter, and I'm sure, very, very sure that very soon all this hula baloo would come to pass.
Do you think you are prioritizing the interest of foreigners over Ghanaians?
That is a misplaced statement, because there's no way anybody would do that. Foreigners don't vote, for example, if you want to go that tangent. So there's no way we would consider foreigners over our Ghanaian brothers. But the fact is, we are members of a regional bloc, and as members, we are supposed to live by the tenets of the treaty. If the treaty claims that you cannot discriminate, you cannot discriminate. Once you do that, then there's a whole lot of trouble. As I speak to you, the ECOWAS president sent in emissaries to come and check on all these issues, all this trouble that has transpired. And they are satisfied that the government of Ghana is taking every necessary steps to correct the situation. So we are there. Somehow we are there.
Could this affect our membership in ECOWAS?
No, I don't think so. It has not got into that point yet, because we have managed to curb the situation. We managed to have the situation under control, and so we don't foresee any problems.
So what assurance would you give the foreign traders?
I know. I want to give the Guta people first. I'll give the Guta people, but I'll give the foreign traders. My brothers and sisters in Guta should just calm down. We share their pain, we share their position, we know their worries. The fact that they are borrowing money at such a exorbitant interest and not be able to sell is a concern. It's also a concern for the government. We, however, cannot, just go in and start driving people off or out because of this pain that they are enduring. We are asking them to just exercise some restraint. We're going to use every administrative and political means to solve this problem. That notwithstanding, I'd like to also mention to my foreign investors that they are the ones that we rely on for investments to run or develop this country. But that is not to say that the laws of the country should not be, should not be observed. I would plead with our investors or our investing partners to ensure that whatever regulations or guidelines that are enshrined under the rules of engagement are, observed, and not thwarted.
Now, the Interministerial Task Force on Galamsey has adopted what it calls technology-driven strategies to combat illegal mining. Among the technologies is a software called Galam Stop, which will manage and monitor the activities of illegal miners. Citi Newsroom's Kojo Ajiman has been more following this particular story.
Government was compelled to place a ban on all forms of small-scale mining in 2017. At the time, the menace was destroying the country's land and water resources. Analysts warned that Ghana may resort to the importation of clean water in the next 2 decades if the threat is not totally eradicated. The ban paved way for a lot of interventions, including the commissioning of a national anti-Galamsey task force, Operation Vanguard, implementation of aspects of an alternative livelihood program, the multi-sectorial mining integrated project, and strong stakeholder engagement. After all these interventions, small-scale miners and other stakeholders were looking forward to the lifting of the ban. Though a specific time was not given, however, the chairman of the Interministerial Task Force Against Illegal Mining, Professor Frimpong Boateng, said government is seriously considering lifting the ban.
We'll establish the quality of water bodies. This is being done by the Water Resource Commission, and it will be done 3 or 4 times a year to make sure that we are on track. And then the ban will be lifted, and the names of all the companies that have been vetted will also be published in the newspapers so that we all see. Now somebody will ask me, when exactly are we going to lift the ban? I cannot say it now, but I know that His Excellency the President will want small-scale miners to spend the Christmas very well.
Though timelines have not been given, the government says it has adopted what it calls technology-driven strategies to curb the illegal mining menace. The chairman of the Interministerial Task Force Against Illegal Mining again.
The regulatory agencies, that is Minerals Commission, Environmental Protection Agency, Water Resources Commission, and the Forestry Commissions have not been adequately resourced to carry out their regulatory functions. Measures have been devised that include regular visits to mining concessions, use of remote sensing and satellite imagery and drones, and more importantly, integration of the activities of these regulatory agencies through a computer application we call Galamstop. So the Minerals Commission, EPA, Water Resources Commission, Forestry Commission, our MMDCs will be integrated through this software application.
Even though the roadmap may contain innovative strategies which small-scale miners have welcomed, they are not enthused about some aspects of the ban. Emmanuel Irinchi is the Director of Operations of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners.
If we are going to vet concessions, if we are going to vet licenses, it will be prudent that when these licenses are vetted, the equipment on the concessions would be tracked as well, rather than asking all the equipment to be transported from one point, the mining site, to a particular destination. That is going to attract additional cost. And as you know, for 18 months, we are home, not working.
Now, earlier, my colleague Umaru Sanda Amadu caught up with Professor Frimpong Boateng, chairman of the Interministerial Task Force Against Illegal Mining.
We think that at this point, Vanguard has done well, but we need to introduce technology that will help the process. We also have to take into consideration that some people who earn their money through mining have been out of job for a very long time, and it's not the government's intention to stop artisanal mining, but to sanitize it so that it will be done in a sustainable manner. That is why we've trained about 3,000 miners at the University for Mine Studies in Takwa in how to mine sustainably. We have also trained people in alternative livelihood exercises so that they can earn their living outside mining sector, especially for women and children in the communities. The roadmap is to help us, one, know and vet the miners. We are given a figure of about 1,500 and 1,350. There's also another figure of 5,000. We don't know exactly what it is. So we need to ascertain that those who claim they have licenses do have licenses and where their concessions are. So we go there, put a signboard, tag them, give them an identity card which will contain their biodata and all the information that we need, EPA, ID or identification number, Minerals Commission identification number, the who owns the concession, the location, and so on. We need to get all this information so that when something goes wrong in future, what I know is that they will spend the Christmas in a happy mood. That's what I can say for now. We need to go through the process, and maybe after 3 weeks or a month, we'll be able to know the exact date, because we're supposed to have started on the 8th of August. And now, today is the 16th, we've lost 8 days. That is why, if we had said, given a date last week, it would be very wrong. So we want to be very careful not to disappoint them. But definitely, they'll go to work before Christmas.
So the roadmap has been launched. It's a plan that the government is intending to implement. And indeed, if you heard Professor Frimpong Boateng there, he's suggesting that by Christmas, they were going to lift the ban on small-scale mining. Is this a welcome news or otherwise for the people who have not been mining for the past 2 years or so? The PRO for the National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Francis Opoku, has joined me in studio. Welcome to the Citi Newsroom. Were you at the forum today?
Yeah, I was there.
Were you applauding the minister or you were frowning when he was outlining the roadmap?
It's a double feeling. It was a mixed feeling. On one side, we applauded the roadmap. It was a very comprehensive roadmap, and it has all the arsenals and the tools to combat illegal mining. And not only that, it can also enhance effective and efficient small-scale mining. So we applauded them.
What was your understanding of the roadmap as launched by the minister?
Yeah, you see, the roadmap, if we follow the minister's presentation well, he did indicate that it came out collectively by all the key stakeholders, including the small scale miners.
So you had an input in it?
Of course. All this while we've been, talking and giving our input. So in all, it's a very beautiful thing. Anything that will bring sanity into the small scale mining, hugely welcome.
So what should we be seeing over the next few weeks or so into Christmas?
Yeah, like our operational directors rightly stated, you see, everything that has to do with the roadmap and the combating illegal mining has been secure. The drones, the satellite imagery, and the people, they've also trained about 300 small-scale miners, including myself, and even the illegal miners. You understand? So all that we were expecting to hear is that the dates is given. If not, maybe very soon. Maybe you see, they were supposed to give us timelines, but that has been the trend. They keep, putting us at a tight corner, giving us suspicions. And if you look at the issues they raise as conditions that has to be fulfilled before lifting the ban, some of them were virtually not practicable. A typical example is the moving of equipment to designated places for the tracking device to be fixed on them. We were pleading that in as much as they want to ensure that proper things are done, they should also remember that livelihood of over 3 million people depend on this. Not only the small scale miners, but the people who depend on our activities.
You have an association.
Yeah.
The minister says to me, they are not even sure how many people are in the small-scale mining space. What figure do you have? He says the official figure is 1,500 plus, but the unofficial figure is that it's over 5,000. What figure do you work with as an association?
Yeah, actually, see, the licensed miners, we with licenses, are about 2,000 licensed miners. But then we have more than, let's say, million illegal miners. You understand? And the dependents are so huge. So it's like the sector is a bit complicated. But all that we are saying is that, see, people go into mining, whether legal or illegal, for livelihood. So we were expecting that, you see, as Ghanaians, anything that they come out with to help the sector, they shouldn't look at the combative aspect alone. There should be also room for measures to provide, to mainstream the sector. And we have to commend them for the training they gave to small-scale miners. But they should go ahead with the training to do a lot of geological investigation about the land that has been the cause, mineable lands, availability of mineable land. That has been the cause of most people doing all this illegal mining and other stuff they need for plant pool. You understand? So in as much as you look at the combative aspect, you also as well also look at how you can mainstream it, provide certain things that the people will need to ensure that the activities are carried out and are carried out well.
The minister said by Christmas or by December, he actually said he would be enjoying Christmas, which means they'll be lifting the ban before Christmas. Is that a good move?
Well, to be honest, it looks as if we want as much as possible to dialogue. But sometimes it becomes unfortunate because, like, we have licenses and there's a problem.
But your licenses some are fictitious. Some cannot even be tracked properly.
No,
the minister said prior to this current regime, the licensing regime was very unsecured, and that there are people who have licenses who cannot be tracked. Even the procedure through which they were given licenses are suspicious.
You see, people always try to portray pictures as if the small-scale institution was the only institution that had lapses. But my brother, we all know, even the Bank of Ghana, institutions in Ghana, a lot of them have, problems.
So you should be allowed to continue to operate in
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. We are saying that in as much as initially when the ban was placed on us, we committed ourselves as small-scale miners, we pledged our support, and we walked the talk. We set up our own task force, and they were moving around, chasing all the guys who were working on the water bodies. What kind of commitment, again, do we need? Now, let me tell you something. The fear of the government is the fear of inability to supervise and monitor it. That's why we have put out all this, and we spend so much on securing drones and what. But we are saying that, why can't we appeal to the sensitivity of the people? And by, strengthening the small-scale mining association, it's a huge sector. So it's a national program, a problem with local solution. So once we're able to strengthen the association will end up fighting the fight that the minister is spending so much on. That notwithstanding, we are in fully support.
But the problem is that you members of the association are the ones who are inflicting harm to the environment. So how can we trust you that you are going to sanitize the industry?
It's a complete no. No, in the sense that, you see, minister in his presentation, and I like him for that. He was so bold, and I appreciate he coming out to say that some of their people, the key people, the top men, are involved somehow. Let me tell you, he said that there are some. Yeah, he said it in the at the meeting. You see, if you don't understand the situation, you will not be able to interpret it well. There are people who own prospecting mining licenses, supposed to be large scale. These people take the large scale mining, they get mining lists. With this, they are no longer in the terrain of the small scale mining. It's owned by big men. And then they go there under the guise of doing prospecting for large scale. But they end up giving these lands to Chinese foreigners to work on. And we have to pick an example of what happened at DSO, where unfortunately Major Muhammad lost his life, to the extent that military men were protecting these people. So when these people are allowed to work and the activity gets to the streams, because they are not doing large scale, then the people come around and blame it on the licensed miners, about 2,000, who had everything to go and do illegal mining, but they are not doing on us. Once we are sitting down, so the illegality is going around, and I'm happy the minister mentioned these facts today.
Thank you so much for your time. Francis Opoku there, he's the PRO of the Association of Small Scale Miners. You're watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV, coming to you from number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. I am Umaru Sanda. Amadu, when we come back, we'll take you to the central region, where a task force has been demolishing an area known as Inching, and we'll tell you why they were doing that.
For regular news checks as they unfold. 2020 news, all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. 2020 news. We bring you the world in 20 minutes.
And that's all the news in 20 minutes.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
Because we're giving only those in their third trimester. So in the next 3 months, those in their second would be ready to receive the kits. And we're taking data at registration, which is before they take the kits, at delivery and post-delivery, so that we can analyze and we'll see the numbers. So from the numbers and the data that we're collecting, we would know what has worked, what hasn't worked,
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.
You're welcome back. Now, a combined force of armed police officers from the Central Regional Police Headquarters and Cape Coast Metro Assembly Task Force have demolished ghettos at Nchin, a suburb of Cape Coast. The police say the structures are dens for criminals from Cape Coast and others who have migrated from other parts of the country. My colleague in the Central Region, Joseph Akomensa, has the details.
Located adjacent the Cape Coast Castle, Nchin has ghettos which, according to the police, harbor criminals. This has led to the suburb being tagged a hub of illicit drug peddling and other crimes. It is for this reason that armed police officers from the Central Regional Police Headquarters backed a task force from the Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly to demolish the ghettos located along the beach. DCOP Enoch Edichum Bediaku is the Deputy Central Regional Police Commander, and he has assured the people of Cape Coast that the exercise will be followed by regular monitoring.
This is the place where they do the trading. It is a fishing community whereby the inhabitants are very hard-working people, but it has been infiltrated by criminals from all over Ghana. Criminals come from Ashama, Mankesim, you can name it. They come and converge here and operate. And we have seen that there are many ghettos whereby when these criminals come, they harbor them. The Municipal Assembly or the Metro Assembly have given them several warnings to evacuate from such places, but all has failed. So we gave them the last warning to move this area. Still, they were adamant. So today, the police, together with the Metropolitan Assembly, have embarked this operation to demolish all unauthorized structures along the beach. We are not going to end it. We are going to monitor. After this, every evening too, there will be operational activities over here with our men. Thank God we have been able to form a neighborhood watch committee here, whereby the youth have voluntarily joined. We have quite a number who are also prepared to protect the citizens in collaboration with the police. So with the neighborhood and the police, I think we can monitor this area for a peaceful settlement.
Authorities in Cape Coast and the Ghana police believe that by demolishing these ghettos at Nchin in Cape Coast, crime could be subsided. From Cape Coast, I am Joseph Akunmensa for Citi News.
Now, some unemployed sanitation officers across the country have questioned President Akufo-Addo's commitment to making Accra the cleanest city in Africa. They say the government has not posted over 500 of them, despite having spent huge sums of money on their training.
The sanitation officers who graduated from school 3 years ago have been forced to resort to menial jobs. Some of them have been speaking to Citi News.
We are going through a lot of frustrations. Living every day, even how to earn our living, is a difficult issue for us. Where we are staying, our landlords are chasing us out of the buildings because we can no longer afford our rent issues. And then we see that the government has made a promise as a father of the nation. And youngsters like us, we are going through a lot of frustration. We have no option than to bring our case to the media. You help us. Ministry of Finance should help us and bring us the clearance so that we can also provide our services to help fulfill the present idea of making Ghana and Accra the cleanest city.
The issue at hand is very delicate. When you are a student or a graduate from School of Hygiene, which is a training institution, you are bonded by the government from working in a different field. So the issue is that I have applied for several companies. I've gone with my certificate, and they turn you down with the reason being that you are actually somebody who is there for the government, and anytime the government can call for you. So instead of them employing you for temporary reasons, they rather find someone who has a qualification and not bonded to work with.
What we want government to do for us is give us our clearance for us to start working or to start practicing as environmental health officers.
We're just surviving and hoping the government to hear our cry and listen to our grievances and do something about it for us.
Now, Deputy Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum has announced that the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service is rolling out a policy which will see heads of schools held accountable for the non-performance of students and pupils. Speaking to journalists after briefing central regional heads of departments and agencies, the Deputy Minister said the GES has been tasked to set up a management division for the policy to be effective. He says heads whose schools record failures would be relieved of their positions.
We have to hold ourselves accountable as a ministry. We have to hold everybody accountable. And one of the things that the minister has said, the minister has asked Ghana Education Service to set up a management division. So that means not everybody should go into education administration. You have to be prepared to go into that. That means we provided coursework. After you finish the coursework at the university, then you have that opportunity of going to head the school. Then when you head the school and students are not performing, then we don't keep you there forever. It's not about me, it's not about anybody, it's about the future of those children. If you are heading the school and you have consistent 0% of BEC, why should I keep you there as a head teacher? I'll be doing the case at the service and the nation at the service if we keep on saying that if the case are failing under your watch, you should keep on holding your position as a head teacher or headmaster. Yeah, those who are heading schools now, yes, we're going to start a leadership training program with the IEPA at Kumasi, and they are leading the effort. We're going to retrain headmasters and head teachers, provided the opportunity to acquire 21st century skills of school administration, which means you are taught how to deal with teachers and staff. You know human resource management. You know something about leadership. You know something about finance, so that you can keep track of your money. And the best that doesn't become the only person who knows something about how your money is spent or what is going on at the school. So these are the things that we are doing at the Ministry of Education that will together and with a double track and other free senior high school really lead to the transformation of our school system.
Now, the Volta Regional Office of the National Health Insurance Authority has blamed the frequent breakdown of equipment coupled with inadequate supply of registration materials for its inability to meet the annual target for enrollment of new members. The authority attributes its challenges to the collaboration with the National Identification Authority in the ongoing issuance of Ghana cards. Speaking at the mid-year performance review at Ho, the Volta Regional NHIA manager Joseph Omenya revealed that as of August this year, his outfit has been able to meet about 39% of their annual target.
We have an active membership of 395,062, representing only 39.73% of our annual target. We are not happy at all, but I will let you know some of our problems. We are faced with a myriad of problems in membership registration, ranging from breakdown of registration equipment, evident shortage of registration consumables, network to application downtime. These are very critical challenges to us, and also coupled with our partnership with National Identification Authority, which affects our ordering of consumables at the national level, which in turn affects us at the regional level. These various challenges make it most difficult for us to achieve our membership.
Now, the Ministry for Food and Agriculture is blaming the Finance Ministry for its inability to compensate 37 farmers affected by avian influenza in the country.
Now, according to the 2016 Auditor General's report, as of December 2016, 37 farmers whose poultry farms and farm products were destroyed between May and October 2015 had not been paid a total compensation of over 1.4 million cedis.
Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee, a Deputy Agric Minister, George Buahin-Odro, said after the influenza outbreak, his ministry wrote to the Finance Ministry for 11 million Ghana cedis to compensate the farmers, but the ministry released only 7 million Ghana cedis. George Odro further stated that the Agric Ministry no more had jurisdiction for the Agric Metro Office in Tamale that had failed to recover 480,000 Ghana cedis in loans given to farmers from ADIF funds.
What happened was that after the directives came, we wrote to the Ministry of Local Government and the various regional directors to come with the Ministry of Local Government or come personally. But unfortunately, nobody came from the northern region. So I think this one, you have to step it aside until further notice. From here, we will notify the Minister for Local Government.
We are going to collapse EDIF. And if we collapse EDIF, it affects all of us. It affects the food sustainability of our country. And so this particular metro director must be found. And if you disburse 485,000 Ghana cedis, in excess of that, and you can only recover 3,000 Ghana cedis, I mean, we cannot continue to behave like this in a country.
For the Ministry of Works and Housing, they appeared before the committee for the non-recovery of over $460,000 in rents from the UNDP flats at cantonments. According to the sector minister, Samuel Atachia, the ministry has recovered some $160,000 of the rent, but the biggest challenge was with national security operatives who did not want to part away with sums meant for rent.
We are demanding that everybody pays his rent if you are located in the UNDP flats. And if you do not pay your rent, the law is clear, then you have to be evicted. So this is where we are. So demand notices have been sent to all those who are living there, and they have to respond to the demand notice and pay off the arrears of rent. We have another challenge, people who are hiding behind the cloak of national security and living in places that they cannot pay. We are insisting that no national security personnel can go and occupy a premise without the approval of the Ministry of Works and Housing.
The Trade and Industry Ministry was also before the committee for a matter of a 2 million Ghana cedi judgment debt incurred by the Ghana Trade Fair Company. Deputy Trade and Industry Minister Carlos Ahenkra tells Citi News a greater portion of the debt has been paid off and government will take steps to pay off the entire amount.
If they intend to take any access of this organization, they won't have any because they don't have anything. And I mean, 0% of zero, I believe, is still zero. So the ministry itself is trying to take over this debt and make good to forestall any further occurrences. As you heard in there, we have paid about 320,000. We're waiting for the court to reconcile so that we'll be able to come up with a final figure and get it off. So we would put the authority on the back burner for the time being and see how the ministry itself take over this and arrange payment for the complainant.
On day 4 of the ongoing sittings of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, 4 ministries appeared before the committee to answer for various infractions for which they have been cited and indicted in the 2016 Auditor General's report. The ministries are the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the Ministry of Power, now operating under the Ministry of Energy, and the Ministry of Works and Housing. Various directives have been given to ensure that the infractions for which they appeared before the committee are not repeated in subsequent years. For Citi News from Parliament, I am Duke Mensompoku.
You're still watching Citi Newsroom. My name is Vivian Kai Lokko. Tonight I'm here with
Umaru Sanda Amadu.
We'll bring you more stories when we come back. Don't go away.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on Citi TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complex. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on Citi TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
And welcome back to the Citi Newsroom. My name is Vivian Lokko. Now, some Ghanaians have expressed mixed reactions towards the government's plans to levy taxes on mobile money transactions. Some argue that the move will deter most people in the informal sector from patronizing mobile money services. Here are some of the patrons of mobile money services who spoke to Citi Newsroom earlier said they are unhappy with government's plans to introduce those taxes. To some other stories, in view of the challenges traders within the Adabraka market face in accessing healthcare, the Queen Mother of the Adabraka Atukpai Substool, Na Koko Ajoyi I, has made moves to alleviate their sufferings. There's more in this report by Akosia Opoku.
Na Koko Ajoyi I, through her Adabraka Queen Mother Foundation, in collaboration with the Global Children Action Network, an NGO dedicated to the dire needs of children, initiated a 3-day health screening exercise for traders within the Adabraka market. The traders there tell me that the initiative, which forms part of a lineup of activities to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Queen Mother's tenure on the Atukpai Substool, brought them a whole lot of relief.
Hela chamo he ya efio wo ahunto ka ni how ni wota wo jelase kado go febo no ko e ba ni kagbeli e ejeni no na koko Ajoyi the first keneke wona agba na efun etwi no ka jaju ni Adabraka polyclinic nurses babi ya no kwale ni wo de no mi he wan he ni kama dumoshi de che wan mi Shina bano ni manye bacha bi ni nte lele akwan BP akwan sugar akwan mi ojoba ni ahami abibi no ni fio mi ga o he hu wan he so fa na ahami ni nko beri je chele obo ni he wan he anokwale ebashi doctors ni bakanesis na me wa anya ko te me ko me onye hospital wo ya na ko te shon wa wata wa shika na ko te shon wa wata wa shika na me bane anu kale nye ni ntele akwa ngomocho mi to fan ni mi nko hu o mi fe fan mi nye fan ye wa le fan wo bo fia mo ke ya wo kama nye yu adon aka nye ka me ba bi ene an ba kwa wo ngomocho wa jo le ne sise wa ma me ru adon aka me na wo e ka me ba bi ene mo nyu wa jo ame o ko ko ji ba Adabraka ma ba ikwe ba Adabraka ma ni ba yi amokpa biale nyala melenye wa fi meila e kalama se mokpa musa akwa ile nyakwa ji aita madakwe na abai madakwe na besiama.
The Queen Mother of the Adabraka market, Rejoice Gbomita, expressed satisfaction with the exercise and pleaded for many more in the future.
Ta ova wo mucho ajoragba basara agba kuragba nyamaro kra vinyaro kra wala magla opo haya o ata mi pe anwanyu ta no yijinami no no omnami okuta konyaro wono bosi agbo no mi akpom lo ta anwia ova wa anwa jejinami ala ba nanya ba mi rosia afia fiare mi ava ma ro mi ba majro to togodova afia to yikoja anya ado ta ka fifia ni pebe na mara omu noko obudu afuma ko be po kwa afo ta ajamian.
The Queen Mother of the Adabraka Atukpai Substool, Na Koko Ajoyi I, told Citi News the motivation behind the initiative.
I was installed over 20 years ago, and when I look through, every day we go out for omowo. We just go to the companies to plead for omowo money. No impact to the community. So after the 20th anniversary, I planned, Cora gave me some money. So I planned that, the women at the markets don't like going to the clinic. So I talked to Adabraka Polyclinic and they gave me a helping hand. We had a lot of meetings and we decided, we will come to Adabraka markets and interview the people, and they said they like it, so we came and we are on it. But already we've done one in
Udona Market. That's a proper market, a clinic. They have a container that is there. They go there every day. And here, we haven't got the space to put the container now. We are searching. That's why we've come to their office to run the clinic for 3 days.
The traders here at the Adabraka market are grateful for the Queen Mother's initiative of a health screening exercise. They hope that many more show up in the future from her quarters or other benevolent people. Reporting for Citi News, I am Akosia Ofewa Opoku.
Sanda, sad day today for people who love music and music of a particular woman, Aretha Franklin. Ever heard of her? Ever heard of Aretha Franklin?
Aretha?
Oh, you were not born, so you wouldn't know what we are talking about.
Aretha Franklin?
Yes.
Henrietta or?
Aretha. No.
Vivian, why are you putting me on the spot? Like, that was not
This is a simple question. Have you heard of her?
Yes.
Okay, what songs did she do?
I don't sing secular songs because of my religion. You know, I'm a Muslim. We sing, you know, we recite the Quran.
Oh, please, stop lying.
Okay, I sing reggae music.
Okay, so what songs have you heard that she did?
I can't sing it on set. The chief imam may be watching, Vivian.
We'll get back to that, her songs.
Thank you.
After several years of battling cancer, Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, has died at the age of 76. The legendary singer, who announced her retirement last year, passed in her home in Detroit, USA.
Now, prior to her death, a concert was being planned in her honor to celebrate her contributions to soul music. Tributes are pouring in for the late singer. Here is a news desk report.
The legendary singer was diagnosed with cancer in 2010 and announced last year she was retiring from music. Known for hit records like Respect and Think, she had more than 20 US #1s over a career spanning 7 decades. She gave her final performance last November at a gala in New York held in aid of the Elton John's AIDS Foundation. To celebrate her, a concert was scheduled in November this year at the Madison Square Garden by record executive Clive Davis, who signed Franklin in 1980. Born in Memphis to gospel singer, pianist, and celebrated Baptist preacher, Franklin was tutored from an early age by such gospel artist stars as Mahalia Jackson and Clara Ward. A move to Atlantic Records in 1966 prompted some of her most soulful and fierce performances. By 1968, she was renowned throughout America and Europe as Lady Soul, a symbol of black pride, who appeared on the cover of Times and given an award by Martin Luther King. Her death, according to music lovers, has created a huge vacuum which will be difficult to fill. Tributes from high-profile personalities like Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, celebrities and music lovers in general are pouring in.
That's the song, Respect.
Yes, Vivian, I think you should continue dancing and singing.
Okay, so can we get that song? And you're going to join me.
No, you have to do
R-E-S-P-E-T. What? Come on, go. Let's go. Let's see your dancing moves. Oh my God, you're so stiff.
You do it. You do it. You do it, man. You do it. I'll be giving you fans. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's another one. Okay, let me still boogie.
Please, Vivian. I don't have money. I would have done booking for you.
No, you should.
No cash.
You don't embarrass yourself and take out one
cash.
CD.
I was going to give you some, few CDs.
And there's another one of her songs I love so much. You make me feel like a natural woman. I don't know if we have that one.
I like that one.
You know
I love that one. Yeah, I love that one.
So
Please.
you make me feel. This is dedicated to you.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, my love. Thank you.
Okay, we have to move on.
I'm getting emotional.
I'm getting emotional
Okay,
too.
I'm getting emotional.
But may her soul rest in peace.
May she rest in peace.
And that's it for today's edition of the Citi Newsroom. Visit our website, citinewsroom.com. My name is Vivian Lokko.
And I am Umaru Sanda. Thank you for watching.
Have a good night.